Hi, Andy here. I'm a minister of the gospel, motivational speaker, singer, writer, life coach, and an entrepreneur. What I like most about life is that every day in life, we have challenges. And some people would say, well, why would you like challenges? Isn't it better to like a life that is lacking challenges, where things are easy and you can relax and you can go through thinking, oh, well, maybe tomorrow it's going to be different, it's going to be better, but no challenges? No, can't do that. It would be dull, boring, and it would not allow me the opportunity to understand the strength of my character and the ability of me as an individual to dig deeper, find my true self, overcome myself, and be a better me. You see, challenges brings us to a place where we begin to understand better how we respond and how we react as individuals. And what it does, it's like physical exercise. When you physically exercise, you build and you strengthen muscles. Well, when life challenges comes your way, you build intellectual and survival muscles. And they are equally as important. Why? Because we are not just here to survive or merely exist as a statistic or a number, but we are here to live. We are here to make a positive and uplifting contribution to ourselves and to each other. And so we have to find ourselves in a place where we endure the challenge and we enjoy what we learn after the challenge. We could never come to a point to say we have lost. It is better to say, I have learned or I have won, and then in time, I will conquer. You see, everything in life is based upon a process. And what challenges does is that it helps us to understand how we process ourselves as individuals, how we assess things, how we react to things on an everyday basis. Challenges can come from our very homes, the place where we live. It can come from the people that we love the most and we care about the most and we trust the most. It can even come from our jobs and our careers. It can come from anywhere. The point is, how do we manage ourselves when these challenges come? How do we say to ourselves, this is how I'm going to deal with the challenge. This is how I'm going to look at the challenge. This is how I'm going to assess the challenge. What are the things that we're going to use, the tools that we're going to use to make the assessment and to manage the challenge? When we can discover these things about ourselves, we become better as individuals. If we are a father, we can become a better father. When the challenges of being a father takes us to a place where we feel our hands are tied, our backs are against the wall. And then in that moment, in that time, if we dig deep enough, we can find something that can tell us, that can help us to deal with the situation, because we know we want to get to a better place. So it doesn't make sense living a life without challenges. Challenges makes us stronger. It makes us think better of ourselves and of other people and of other situations. We learn to appreciate things that we were not seeing before. But now that the challenge is before us, we are challenged to find a better way. We are challenged to see things differently. Not just think outside the window, but act outside the window. And so every day, if we look at life from this particular aspect, there is something to learn, there is something to gain. But a lot of us don't like challenges because it exposes who we really are, and we are not happy with the man in the mirror. But it is time to understand that the man in the mirror is the reality that we cannot get away from, but the reality that we must deal with. If it were possible for us to be in someone else's shoes, Many of us would have done it, but that's an impossibility. You have to face who you are every single day of your life. Come to terms with it, deal with it. Sometimes the challenge is us, because we don't want to accept the fact that the change we desire to see in this world begins with us. We are the true agents of the change that we desire to see in our lives. And when we face the challenges, just sometimes to make a little adjustment to see things get better, we don't want to do that because we are saying to ourselves, maybe it is somebody else's responsibility, but it is your challenge. And if it is your challenge, then it is your responsibility to find a way to deal with the challenge. That is when you get better. That is when you get stronger. That is when you grow to a place where you manage things at a higher level. So stop shunning your responsibility. Embrace them. Be convicted by them because they bring out the best in you, even at the worst of times. It all depends on your outlook. It all depends on your state of mind. It all depends on how you look at things, how you assess things. If you're objective in the way that you respond, you will find the remedies. You will find a way out. But if you're closed-minded, you're going to have problems. We have to approach each situation thinking that it's not the problem that matters, but it is the solutions that we can find in the problem that matters. So how do you see yourself? Are you a good manager of challenges? Or does challenges break you down to the point where you're thinking, why am I going through this? Why is my life like this? Why am I not making the kind of progress that I need to make? Maybe you should stop asking those questions and instead ask yourself, what can I get? What better could happen? What's a better way to deal with and to see what I am going through? Because maybe the answer that you're looking for is in your ability to change the way you look and think about the challenge. It's a positivity that is missing, and you need to get it. You need to find it. It's in you. It's right there with you. It's always with you. But some of us, we don't dig deep enough. We expect someone else to do it. We can do it. We have to make up our minds that we're going to face our challenges daily head on and not cower in fear and despair, but rise to the challenge and understand that where there's a will, there's going to be a way. If we seek success in the right frame of mind, we may not win immediately, but incrementally, over time, we can progress. All we have to do is gain and grow 1% every day and enjoy the experience. And in time, we'll get to where we desire to be. Rome was not built in a day. That is so true in so many aspects of our lives. But it's how we look at things. It's how we assess them. It's how we respond and how we react. Change is inevitable. It's constant. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. What about our change? What about our adjustment? What about our place where we can bend and yield a little, just to make sure that we deal with the challenge, just to make sure that we find the right path to success, just to make sure we find the right solution so that we can overcome the challenge, learn from the lesson, be stronger, be better, so we can help someone who has a similar situation to us. When you die, what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind? What would you like to hear people say in the funeral or after the funeral when they are gathered? There's limitations now because of COVID-19, but think about it. What would you like people to say about you after you're gone? And remember, that is when it matters the most. Not while you're alive, because we have a tendency to do things for people after they are gone, not while they're alive. It's a sad situation, but it's the reality of how we live. You know, a famous individual once said, if you want to have immortality, live a life that's worth remembering. That's the late, great Bruce Lee. What he meant by that is when you are gone, the memories that you leave behind must be something that people can look forward to when they sit down and speak about you, and they can say, yes, this guy was an individual who we learned so much from. He was important in our lives. He mattered. He filled a spot. He took a place. We are going to miss him because now we have good memories of who he was while he was here. Thank God we became a part of his life and him ours. That's the kind of legacy you want to leave. Why? Because it's the thing that matters the most after you are gone. So stand up and be counted. Take your rightful place in this life and let your challenges know that God has a better way for you to live. But you have to want it for yourself. You have to be willing to make the necessary sacrifice to pay the price, to do the work, to get down in the trenches with your hands and feet if you have to. But you know in the end what you are going to achieve and to accomplish, because you need to be a better you until you can say, I am the best that I am. Not of what I do. It's not a competition. It's a matter of being relevant. You want to be able to be there every time the situation arises. Why? Because you want to be part of the solution, not the problem. People, there's always a better way to live. There's always a better way to accomplish and do things. But we have to seek and search and educate ourselves and look every day for the positive things that we can gain out of the experiences that we have, so we can build intellectual muscles, so that the change that's necessary to take place will lead us to be a better, stronger, more positive thinking and acting individual, because it requires that kind of approach. Have a wonderful time. Have a blessed day. Godspeed. God bless. Until we speak again.